In this video, I'm going to be vibe coding with the newly redesigned Claude Code Desktop App. About an hour ago, Anthropic put out this tweet and they said that you can now run multiple Claude sessions side by side from one window with a new sidebar to manage them all. So this is a direct competitor to the Codex desktop app, and it's a precursor to the Claude Opus 4.7 launch, which is now rumored to be launching this week. I expect it to launch on Thursday. So this desktop app is now available, and I'm going to test it out in my organic, normal vibe coding workflow, just testing it out, seeing how good it is, and I'm going to give you guys everything that you need to know about the new app and show it to you. But with that being said, I do have a like goal of 200 likes on this video. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. And with that being said, let's get right into testing this out. All right, first things first, let's just look around a little bit and see what we can do. So this is the new app. You guys can see here that I'm clicked over into code here, and I can just do a new session. So I have a new session here, and let's just select a new folder, and I can choose any of these. So let's choose the BridgeMind directory, and let's try to add one of the files. Let's just do the BridgeMind API real quick, and that looks good. That's nice. I want you to do an in-depth review of this project with 10 subagents and help me identify any security vulnerabilities in the project. Output a list of all of your findings with a complete summary of each finding and also a plan of how to fix the security vulnerability and patch it. Okay, so let's see. Let's just submit this. So I'm going to launch 10 subagents here, and we'll see what it looks like. Let's allow. So this is going to launch it. It says that it's asking for permission. Let's just do... It says ask permissions. I think I can just do accept edits. So I'm going to do accept edits here. But let's see if there's any shortcuts. If I do Command+D, is there anything? Oh, okay, that's the microphone. Okay, so it looks like there's a microphone. Let's test the microphone here. How accurate is the microphone? How good is the microphone? That's pretty good. So do you guys see this? So Command+D is actually going to start that microphone. Check this out. Hello there. My name is Matthew Miller, and I am the CEO and founder of BridgeMind. That's pretty good, guys. And then, so that's nice. So just a Command+D, or maybe it's Control+D on a Windows, but Command+D on a Mac is going to allow you to do voice commands. What's this here? Okay, it just asked me there. Okay, let's go over here so we can obviously do plugins, connectors, /command. So if I do a /command, okay, wow, we have a lot of /commands here, but this is typical of Claude Code, but it does give you a nice UI. And then, oh, wow, look at this. So the transcript view, you have normal, verbose, or summary. So that's interesting. Let's check out over here. So we can do diff, terminal, tasks. So I can open up the tasks so you can actually see what each subagent is running. So you can see that there's one subagent that's auditing my auth and JWT, one that's doing auditing the authorization and the role-based access control, one reviewing the injection and validation. So that's actually really cool. You can manage them here. Can I click into them or no? It does look like I can just close them though. So if I want to stop a subagent, I can do that here, which you wouldn't be able to do that inside of Claude Code unless you had to write some /commands. Also, let's check out the diff. Oh, wow. So you can actually have these open at the same exact time, which is pretty cool. And then you can also open up a terminal. Wow. Okay, so if I just wanted to, let's just see over into the BridgeMind web app, for example, and let's do npm run dev. I don't know if I have this running already. It looks like I do. But if I do, what about, can I open multiple terminals? Let's see if I can do that. Okay, can I open multiple? Let's see. Okay, I can drag this, so I can change this. This is actually a really nice UI. I can drag this around. One thing that I definitely want to try out is in that demo video, it did show the ability to like open up one of them in like a new, like I can have them side by side. So let's click new session and let's just do this. Okay, so let's do this. I want you to do an in-depth review of the front end and launch 10 subagents that will review the project and make sure that all pages follow the same theme and styling. The subagents should try to identify pages that are not properly following the design theme of this project. You should use the front-end design skill and the front-end design plugin to help you with this task. Okay, and Command+D will stop it too. So let's launch this one as well. And I am using Opus 4.6 with this, but let's just drop in this and see what this gets. This is going to launch a bunch of subagents on my front end. One thing that I'm not seeing is I'm not seeing the ability to open up a browser, but let's try this out real quick. It did say that wow, okay, this is pretty cool. So you can drag and drop this, and that's nice. How many of these can we get going though? So this one's running, so this one's running, and now let's do another one. And can I only do 2 at a time? How many can I have here? Let's try this again. Let's do, let's drop in the BridgeMind CLI, or so it's called Bridge Code CLI, and let's give it another task. I want you to launch 5 subagents to do a complete deep dive on the Bridge Code CLI and identify any incomplete functionality that we still need to build into the CLI that is worked on or started but not fully complete. So let's launch another one with, this is one that's going to launch with 5 subagents, and I was using Bridge Voice for that. This is my global voice to text tool, which is very good. So let's see, can I do 3? So this one was the one that was doing the front end styling. Okay, so it looks like I can only do 2 vertically, or horizontally. So 2 horizontally and then 2 vertically in this app. Can I adjust this? I can't like drag this. So it looks like 4 is going to be the max. Also, this is asking me to allow. So do you guys notice that? So typically, like for example, with a product like BridgeSpace, you know, I'm consistently here. That's the dev server with BridgeSpace. If I just pull this up here, you know, I consistently have tons of different workspaces and terminals opened up, and I'm working on a ton of things at once with all my agents. It looks like here, the max amount of instances that you're able to have inside of one view is 4. And that's actually, I'm just kind of assuming that there. Let's actually paste this in here. Let's do BridgeMind UI, BridgeMind API, and then also the BridgeMind database. I want you to launch 3 deep dive agents to do a complete in-depth review on the crediting system that we're going to need to build with the Pro, Max, and Ultra subscriptions. Review the BridgeMind UI pricing page and come back to me with a complete review and recommendations on next steps to build in this crediting system. Okay, and I do need to do BridgeMind UI. Sorry, I'm so used to using Bridge Voice. I need to be using their tool. But let's drop that in, and it was, which one was it? This one was, okay, at the top here, it shows what directory you're in, and then it also says obviously the name of it, which is good. So this was the one that was auditing, so I can split here. Can I do anything else? Okay. So it looks like 4 terminals is going to be the max that you're able to actually have. What about if I can collapse this, and then can I swap these, I'm assuming? Grab this one. Okay, you can also just click this and have it open in any directory that you want. So if I wanted to open this up in Cursor, I could do that. What happens when I do that? Let's go here. And let's see what happens. So it launches Cursor, and it just launches, does it launch that Claude instance there? Or I guess it just launched that project inside of Cursor. Okay, that's okay. So let's go back over here and let's check out these tasks. Okay, so for each instance here, you're able to actually open up those things per instance. So I can see a plan, I can see the tasks, I can see the diffs, and I can see the preview. And what is the preview? Is this just, what is that? Okay. So do you guys see this? So for each of these, you're able to open like a terminal in each. So for each one of these, you can open up a terminal. And I actually personally don't really like that because, for example, hey, I want to be able to use one workspace to manage all of this, right? I want to be able to have all of my terminals, but I will say the UI, it's like really clean, but this is a limiting factor where you actually can't open up like multiple terminals inside of it yet. And then for each of these, you can see, I do like this, where you're able to actually see the agents in here. So if I have, let's open up tasks here, and this one is running this, and it says actually when these agents are completed. So you can see that these are all now completed. We can actually go over here as well and see if I click tasks, it says that these are all completed. If I close some of these, I can kind of see this window better. But you know, this is we're kind of pushing the limits here with it. One thing that I don't like is there's still no browser use inside of the app. Like it would be really nice if, you know, with Cursor, you're able to have that pretty sleek. Like if I just open up, let's open up the agents window. So inside of Cursor, what's really nice about Cursor is inside of Cursor, let's say that I want to open this up. I can just go over to this, for example, and I can open this up, and I actually have a browser. And if I wanted to, let's say, just like select one specific thing, I could just kind of say this, and I could say, let's just click this. I want you to change the heading here to note that this is the #1 vibe coding benchmark in the world. And then, for example, I could paste that in, and it's able to paste that into a new agent that's going to work on that, right? And that's really nice. Like for somebody that's vibe coding, that's a very good tool. But Claude Code Desktop App, it does not have that yet. It just has the ability to manage your Claude Code instances. So yes, I like this. I think it's a nicer UI. It's definitely better than what they had before. But in terms of, what a vibe coder wants, I would like the ability to manage a few more terminals than just 4. You can obviously still open up a session, but I do want to test out a couple more features. Check out the scheduled here. So if we go to scheduled, let's do a new local task, and let's just call this security audit. Review the BridgeSpace API and identify any security vulnerabilities. And then I can do, let's change this to BridgeSpace. And then here, so look at I want you to launch 3 subagents that will do a deep dive on the BridgeSpace API and identify any security vulnerabilities that exist in the application and output your findings with a plan to fix them, as well as concern levels. Okay, and then we can set what model we want to use for this scheduled task. And this is inside of the Codex app as well. And I can literally just do this daily, hourly, manual, weekdays, weekly. So let's just have this run every day at 9 a.m. And then we can just select the folder here, and I'll just do BridgeSpace. Can I choose a different folder, so I can go over here, and then I can go to desktop, I can go to BridgeSpace, and then I can go to the BridgeSpace API right here. So then I would set it to this, and do I have to select the branch? I don't think I have to because it's local, right? And then I can create the task, and then it says trust workspace. Okay, I want to trust. So that will now run every morning at 9 a.m., which the Codex app has that, but I will say it's a cron job, that is nice. Is there anything else? You have dispatch, you have the ability to customize this. Okay, here's my personal plugins. Oh, wow, okay. So you can actually manage your skills here. Oh, wow. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. So you're able to manage your skills now through the UI. I don't know if they had this before the redesign, but this is pretty cool. So you can browse skills. Whoa. Okay, this is pretty cool, chat. So this here, you actually can look up skills. So if I wanted to find is there some UI design, MCP builder, brand guidelines? Okay, they're only the ones that are offered by, Anthropic and partners. So MCP builder, doc co-authoring, brand guidelines. So applies Anthropic's official brand colors and typography to any sort of artifact that why is that even a skill? Connectors, so you have all these connectors as well. Chat, this is pretty impressive. I like this because it's all just in the UI, right? And this is a much easier way to be able to connect plugins just in a visual interface, right? So look at this. You can do legal. Oh, wow. So we can add the legal skill. So for example, legal is installed and ready to use. So now if I go back over to this, I can actually go to new session, and how do I click new session? Wait, why is it not? You guys see this? So new session, I'm clicking it and it's not doing anything. Is this it? Oh, I guess when I click new session, it'll just pull it up into this one. Okay, so this is the new session right here. And then it looks like I'm able, okay, this is one thing that I really don't like. I can't drag and adjust any of these terminals. I can't drag this. You see, I see this border here. This is not clickable and draggable, just a small UI thing there. But that's pretty good. You also have the ability to see all of your sessions, which is cool. But let's just drop this in and say, I want you to use, hold on, let's use the Anthropic one. Hold on, are you listening? Are you listening to me? Okay, this is a little bit buggy. The legal plugin, and do a complete in-depth review of BridgeSpace and our legal documentations, and provide me with any updates or things that we need to change about our privacy policy or our terms of service based on actual functionality that you see in the application. So let's see, is it able to do that plugin? So we'll drop in this as well. So the legal plugin, what does this look like? And I'm just going to close out of these to see like how this looks. The UI looks pretty good. That is definitely the biggest thing about this. This is a redesign of the app. And even, for example, like small changes like this where I can click down here and with the effort, I can just change the effort by, clicking here and then just going to max, right? Like that is nice. That's better than in a terminal. I would have to, do a slash command, then go to model, then, toggle with the arrows, which is no big deal. But just to be able to have this in a GUI instead of a TUI is pretty nice. All in all, though, not a ton changed with this. It is going to compete with the Codex app. So for those of you that actually do like to manage things like with this sidebar and manage all your instances, this is nice to be able to just be able to drag and drop and then also see, your different tasks, which have all your subagents, or launch a terminal inside one of these windows. Remember, you are limited with this. Like if I do Command-T or Command-D, it's not splitting. So it looks like you can only have one terminal, which is okay because you can have one terminal inside every instance. But if you do have like a large project, you're going to have to open up multiple terminals outside of this app, which is okay. It just depends on what your preference is. But you can also see the diffs, you can see your preview, and you can see your plans. So this is nice. It's a good GUI. I like the new scheduled tasks. You guys can see my security audit is going to run tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then the ability to actually manage your skills, connectors, and your plugins inside of the app is actually pretty nice. This is better than the TUI interface to be able to manage all this. So whenever I'm managing skills, connectors, and plugins, I'll probably launch this app to be able to manage that. But in general, not like a ton changed. It's a little bit better UI, but fundamentally, nothing changes with the launch of this desktop app. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys that are looking for, if you guys like the Codex app or you like some of these applications where you can manage multiple terminals at once. I know I do. I probably am going to stick to BridgeSpace personally, just because I like to be able to launch more than 4 at once, and I like to manage like different workspaces inside of BridgeSpace. So that's like one thing where it's like, hey, to be able to manage different workspaces where I can switch back between, if I'm using Codex or I'm using Open Code or I'm using Bridge Code or I'm using Claude Code, as well as what project I'm actually working in. It's nice to have workspaces. We'll see if Claude does that. You can see that here, you do have where, hey, if I'm launched in a different project directory, like this is View Creator right here, you can see that this is a completely different project directory. So you can see that I can manage that here. Here's BridgeMind, here's View Creator. That's nice. And then you can also see the status, project, environment. So that's pretty nice there. I do like BridgeSpace a little bit better for that personally, but I will say this is definitely a good redesign from Anthropic. I think this is going to appeal to a lot of people. I'll probably use this a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's the same product. It's the same model. It's just in a different interface. So you guys can make your own decision on this based on your preference. But the big piece of this week is, are we going to get Opus 4.7 and when is it going to drop? Because that's the underlying driver of this whole week. This seems like it's the precursor to it. It's a nice improvement in UI, but what does the model look like? That's the big question. Claude, Anthropic, give us Opus 4.7. We need it. With that being said, if you guys haven't already liked, subscribed, and joined the fastest growing vibe coding community on the internet, BridgeMind, make sure you check out the link in the description as well as the pinned comment, and I will see you guys in the future.